Next, we head to Kenya, where the country's foreign ministry raised concerns over Kenya's fighting along with Russian forces. Kenyans are allegedly being lured by Russian recruiters to fight on the front lines against Ukraine.
Lured by corrupt and ruthless agents to travel to Russia and unknowingly find themselves in the Russian military operation.
But Kenya hasn't pointed the finger at Russia's government.
The system has been made complicated by the agents who masquerade as working with the Russian government and use unscrupulous methods, including falsified information, to lure innocent Kenyans into the battlefield.
The foreign ministry states that some Kenyans are ending up detained in military camps. However, no specific figures were given on the number of recruits or on those detained or injured while fighting for Russia. Now, Russia has repeatedly been accused of deceiving citizens from poorer nations into joining their military ranks. It is alleged that contracts are written in Russian and cannot be understood by those signing up. But why could Russia be looking to other nations for soldiers? Well, firstly, Russia is experiencing heavy losses on the front lines. Ukraine's armed forces say that Russia suffered approximately 1,137,000 casualties since February of 2022. And a formal mobilisation of Russian citizens could be a political risk for the Kremlin. The last such call-up in 2022 saw hundreds of thousands of Russians flee the country to avoid fighting. Then there is the cost effectiveness. Foreign fighters are viewed as cheaper alternatives with a lower compensation and death benefits compared to Russian soldiers. Reports suggest this is all part of a strategic expansion with suggestions Russia is aiming to increase its armed forces to the size of 1.5 million active soldiers by 2026. The country currently has over 1.3 million active soldiers. Back now to Kenya. There is widespread poverty and limited job opportunities. For those in work, the average salary in the East African nation stands at around 80,000 Kenyan shillings per month. This equivalent to just over $600. Compare this to a starting salary in the Russian army, which is often over $2,000 a month. But concerns over the validity of agents who are signing Kenyans up to fight on the front lines are still there. And Kenya's foreign ministry says that the country is still committed to signing a labour agreement with Russia that will provide citizens access to quote-unquote genuine job opportunities in Russia. This also comes in the wake of conflicting reports last month on whether a Russian diplomat was arrested for recruiting fighters in the country. And an arrest of a Kenyan citizen was reportedly made last week, with individuals who were bound for Russian front lines rescued. The situation on the ground remains shrouded in mystery, but the Kenyan government has acknowledged their concern. And the Russia-Ukraine war shows no sign of slowing down. Losses on both sides continue to mount. Russia needs new troops to continue its offensive, and citizens of poorer nations like Kenya could provide that new influx.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all three just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.